Welcome to Garage Geek, and this is my vinyl haul. So yesterday I went out to eat. I had a glass of wine. Then we went to another bar near our home. Everything was within walking distance, so we didn't have to drive. And I had another cup of wine, so I was pretty toasty. And we hadn't decided that we were going to go to the local record store called Gimme Gimme Records. But we did when we decided to walk off the pizza that we had eaten. We decided to go into Gimme. It was still open, Gimme Gimme. So I am trying not to buy so much because I have so much already. And it's not really a question of money, although I do like to get a bargain. It's more a question of money versus space value. So not only am I going to show off the 3 items that I purchased because I limited myself, we're also going to hear clips from them. And even though I'm not doing a deep dive, I did want you to not only see, but hear what I bought. Okay, and I'm also going to tell you how much I paid for each, and then you can decide whether you would have paid that much or not. So I'm going to start first with Cannonball Adderley, Fiddler on the Roof. Let me not cover up any of this gorgeous cover. So obviously I bought that for that amazing cover. And also, I love Fiddler on the Roof. So this is definitely a must-buy for me. It was $8. Now, look at the condition of the cover. Now, I'm not sure if this is part of the color or if that is. I'm not sure if that's discoloration. But in any event, it still looks gorgeous. Even the seams are beautiful. There's just one place on this record where, like, there's a little bit of corner dings. That's okay. Gorgeous record for $8. And let me show you the vinyl. It's on Capitol. Although you'll see, oh look, you can see how I'm recording this? No, you can't. Okay, so it's on Capitol. But I read the liner notes as I was listening to this. So this is, basically a jazz versions of songs from Fiddler on the Roof. But Cannonball Adderley went to the play when it opened. The musical. I think it was a preview because later they cut some of the songs, but he liked the songs. And so there are a couple of songs on here that didn't make it into the final, which is kind of interesting. So we are going to hear cuts from each song, and there are 8. So here are the song tracks. Now, the 2 songs that didn't make it into the final were Sewing Machine and Kajvalak. Now, I do not know how to pronounce that. So let me what it says. It says the bolero tempoed Kajvalak is strictly a dance sequence in the show and does not appear as a song in the original cast album. Sewing Machine was deleted prior to the show's Broadway opening, but Cannonball liked it so much he felt it too should be included on his date. So this album was recorded in Capitol's New York studios on October 19th and 21st, 1964. So once again, look at that gorgeous cover. Did I mention that I paid $8 for this? So what do you think? Would you have paid $8 for this, $8 US for this album? That's about a third of what you would pay for a a new vinyl. The next one I'm going to talk about is Ella Swings Brightly with Nelson. So you can see there's an asterisk with Fitzgerald Riddle. Now, of course, I know Ella, and Nelson Riddle, I know him most from the sessions that he did with Linda Ronstadt, right? The 3 albums. And this is on the Verve label, so you'll be able to see the vinyl in the clips that I show.
I won't dance, don't ask me. I won't dance, don't ask me.
Now, there's the song tracks, so you can pause that if you like. These songs, so many of them are standards. There are 12 of them, so I'm not, and they're short, right? Most of them are around 2.5 to 3 minutes. So I'm not gonna play all 12, but I did pick 6.
The crowded avenue, you are here, so am I.
And this is a very swinging album.
Our love is as deep.
The notes on the back are really interesting. So I'd like to read one quote. I find myself prone to morbid visions of a world in which Ella is finally rendered mute and inglorious through the sheer lack of any more worthy material.
Only hours with memories lingering like faded flowers.
So the first half of this review is how the writer, every time he picks up a new album by Ella, he's scared because her voice is so good that he's worried the material won't stand up to her voice. And he says the greatest of her recordings up to that point had been the songbooks.
Anytime I think my world is wrong, I get me out of bed and sing this crazy song.
Now this one I picked up and put down a couple times in the store. It was pricey for me. So this one was $20, but the condition is gorgeous. Right? There is just a slight bit of staining in the back. I'm not a purist that way. To me, this is a mint condition. But I know that most people say wouldn't call it a mint condition. Also, the cover photo to me is a little bit dull, even though it's glossy. The picture itself to me looks dull. And then with a price tag of $20, so this is almost the price of a new vinyl. And so I was hesitant to pay that much for an older record, but I'm glad I did, because this album is really, really good. Her voice is beautiful. She does swing. I'm really glad I picked it up.
Station and catch me a trial.
Now, as I was leaving, I didn't have time to go through all the 45s. There's a bunch of 45s at the bottom. I occasionally just flip through some of them, but this one was $2. And I love 45s, these old 45s this way. And so this is called The Music of Leroy Anderson. And I don't know much about him, so I would like to actually research that. And this is the Boston Pops Orchestra with Arthur Fiedler conducting. Okay, and so this is from the Gold Standard series. And each side has 2 songs. The first one is Sleigh Ride. The second one is Serenata. On side 2 has Syncopated Clock. And Jazz Legato. Now, most of you have probably tuned out by now because this is absolutely not most most people's type of music. I get that. I actually love orchestra. I like this music a lot. I love to listen to it while I'm reading or doing something else. It's instrumental. It doesn't really get in the way of thought processes. So I really appreciate this type of music. Now, I know many of you would say, well, there's plenty of newer instrumentals, but this stuff is always dirt cheap, and I love the covers. So for $2, I feel that this was a huge bargain. I mean, this must be about 50 years old, and look at this, the condition it's in. To pay $2 for something that's 50 years old, and again, I know most people would be like, that's trash. I wouldn't even pay, like, if they were giving 15 for $1. I've seen those kind of comments. That's just not me. So I really do appreciate something like this. So I would love to know, if you saw something like this for $2, would you pick it up? So that is my haul. So I spent a total of $28.30. I spent a total of $30 on these albums, which is actually not cheap for going to the record store, right? Because, you know, those aren't really bargains per se, but I don't regret it. And I think each one of these is a fabulous addition to my wonderful record collection. Thank you for the support.